Welcome to another edition of the San Diego Prep Insider Podcast. I'm Tommy Morris, joined as always by Montel Allen from NBA Sports, Recruiting, and San Diego Friday Night Lights magazine. Montel, how'd you feel about the first week?
First week, man, I got hammered on my picks, but I'm excited about the way everything turned out. It looks like a lot of teams came ready to playing on emotion. I think the great thing about our podcast is firing some of these kids up. Like me and you both get plenty of responsive kids talking about it's in your face, we beat them, and so on and so on. And I'm going to continue to make those picks so it does continue to get guys playing fired up because I think we're seeing the best ball in San Diego County right now. So I'm ready to jump right into it.
Let's do it. No top 10 this week because, hey, it's playoffs, so we don't need any of the rankings or anything like that. We're just going straight to the games. Starting in Division 5, just like we did last week, it's La Jolla Country Day traveling to the island to take on Coronado.
Love over there, Coronado. Great job. Tony Isabella's doing a great job over there, Coronado. Love Michael Flores over there, the linebacker over there, and Gonzalez and those guys. Gonzalez over there, linebacker over there at Coronado. They've done a great job. But La Jolla Country Day, Mr. Burmeister and Goring over there, they've been playing great. I know they both played in week 0 at the San Diego Kickoff Classic, and Coronado got them. I think this is a revenge game for La Jolla Country Day. They're playing on all cylinders. I'm going to go with La Jolla Country Day with the win. It should be a close one. I know Coronado's going to get up after him, but I think Country Day has figured them out.
I'm going to go with the Tories as well. They have a common opponent now because they both play Claremont. Country Day played them last week in the playoffs. They beat them 44-21. Coronado just beat them by 3 points, 28-25. I know that's not always indicative of who's a better team. And I will say this. Yes, they did play in week 0, but I think the Tories have progressed a lot as the season has gone on. Coronado, not saying they haven't progressed, but I think that Country Day is a completely different team than Coronado saw when they were playing them in the scrimmage. So I've got the Tories in our first game. And by the way, just for a description, for the graphic you're seeing right now, the T and the M, if it's green, that means you picked it right last week. If it's red, it means you picked it wrong last week. So those little markings are from the week before. As you see to the right of Coronado, we both picked Coronado to win, and they both won, which is why there's a green T and there's a green M. So moving on to the next matchup in Division 5, we've got Vincent Memorial going to Crawford, Montel.
Vincent Memorial, tough team, playing really good ball in the desert. But Crawford's strong. I think Crawford has a little bit too much speed for him. Don't get me wrong, but no, Vincent Memorial has some seniors, but they haven't been playing up to their ability like they were in the beginning of the season. I think, like Crawford, like she said, La Jolla Country Day, Crawford's gotten better and better as the season's going along. They've actually figured out a way to work that offense they run, that kind of mesh read and all that other good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and go with Crawford for the win.
I'm going to go with Crawford as well. They're the Manzanita League champions. They were 4-0. They won every single game by at least 4 possessions, with the exception of one game when they beat Vincent Memorial by only 14. But I think that they will have they've beaten them before. They know how to do it, so I think they will be able to pull off that one. So we're done with Division 5. Division 5 has less games than the rest of the divisions because they only had 8 teams make a total. So we'll move on to Division 4, starting at the top of the bracket. It's Mater Dei hosting Kearney.
Wow. I love Brown over there at Kearney. I think he's doing a great job. I like Galloway, the other running back. He's playing really, really well. Brown's playing excellent quarterback. Kearney has a lot of explosive players, but Mater Dei is just too tough for them. CJ Verdell is playing, basically out of his mind right now. He's running like a man possessed. He's doing it all for Mater Dei. They have a stronger defense, and their offensive line is just too strong, I think, for Kearney to go ahead and go against. Even though I do like Joseph Sayal over there at Kearney, he's an explosive defensive lineman, offensive lineman guy. He's been pancaking people all over the county, but one man is not going to be enough to stop. I think what Mater Dei has to put up, and I think Mater Dei gets the victory.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think that Kearney has a chance against pretty much any team in this bracket, with the exception of Mater Dei. I think Mater Dei is just a little bit too tough. Kearney had a great year, can't take anything away from him, but I think they're going to run into a tough one on Friday with Mater Dei. So moving on, we've got Mar Vista hosting Southwest from the Imperial Valley.
This was a shocker last week. I didn't think Southwest was going to pull it off. They figured out a way to go ahead and do it, play some excellent ball. But Mar Vista, that running back in Mar Vista, man, he is something special. I like Mar Vista in this one. I think it'll probably be close in the beginning, but I think Mar Vista eventually pull away from them. I think they just have too much team speed for them.
I'm going to stick with Mar Vista as well. Southwest likes to run the ball. They've got 3 sophomores who do the majority of the running. They've got a quarterback, guys youngers, and then they've got 2 running backs who also run the ball a lot. So this is going to be a team that's going to be good in this division for a couple years to come. But right now, I don't think they're ready. They're still a little bit undersized because they are sophomores. Mar Vista also likes those kinds of games. So I've got Mar Vista beating Southwest in the 4-5 game. So moving on to the 3-6, it's Castle Park going to Bishops.
Ow. This is a tough one to pick, to be honest with you. I went back and forth. I like what Bishop's doing. Bishop is very, very precise at what they do. They're very organized as far as their offense is concerned. They know how to move the ball on every team they played against this year. They have a really good, solid defense. But Castle Park right now is playing at an all-time high right now. They're just playing great ball. Mike Flores, the linebackers, leading that defense with a big charge. Luke Bukwa, great addition as far as offense and defense. He's their all-star stud. And their quarterback is throwing the ball, very, very well as running it. I'm going to go with Castle Park on this one. I think they are ripe and ready. They're ready to match when they want to meet Mater Dei back up in the championship. So I got Castle Park in this one.
I'm going to go with the Knights. I've got Bishops. Bishops coming into the playoffs hot. They had kind of an up-and-down year. They lost a couple games that they definitely know they should have won. I don't need to mention them. But Bishops, I've got Bishops in this one. It will be a tight one as well. All these games are going to be close, I think, in all these divisions because, hey, that's the whole point of the playoffs. So it's getting harder and harder to pick right now. Final game in Division 4, University City hosting Santana.
You know what? This is another I want to call. I mean, Santana, they put up points. Their offense is explosive. Let's make no doubt about it. I think they put over 40 points in about 4 or 5 games this year. They have a really good offense. They can score, I think, on anybody in the county. They played a really good schedule. But University City's that team, like you said, Tommy, before we didn't pick them, they got fired up. They won the game, and then they came back the next week, and then they laid an egg. So I don't like the up and down. I know they had a week to prepare, but I'm going to go with Santana in the shocker.
Ooh.
I think it's going to beat them. I think the offense is going to be a little bit too much. I think the East County ball is a little bit better than the city, than at their conference they play in. And I think Santana's going to come in and try to hammer them. I'm going to go Santana.
I had a lot of trouble with this one as well. Do I pick Unity City? Do I pick Santana? Santana, good team. It's hard with these teams that are from different parts of the county because they don't have a lot of common opponents, but I'm going to stick with UC. I think they've got 3 guys at wide receiver that are going to be tough for Santana to cover, led by Gavin Rasmussen. So I'll take Uni City in our final game for Division 4. So we got to move on to Division 3. Before we do, actually, I'll recap the picks. We both have Mater Dei. We both have Mar Vista. You've got Castle Park. I've got Bishops and Uni City. I have Uni City. You have Santana. So, hey, right away we have a couple disagreements. So I like the way this is going, man, because that's how you know the games are going to be good. But we got a lot of us kind of bouncing back and forth of who we think is going to win. So in Division 3, first game we're going to talk about is the 1 seed Bonita Vista hosting Patrick Henry.
Desmond Patton had probably the game of his life last week. I mean, he's a stud, absolute stud. He played great with those 3 picks against La Jolla. They got Zarion Cook over there. They got Corkskill. They got some good talent over there over at Patrick Henry. But Bonita Vista is fully loaded. Posada, Harrison, and the rest of the boys over there, they're just going to be a little bit too much, I think. Lanier at corner, I think he goes ahead and takes away, or he at least covers Patman for the majority of the game while they go ahead and try to blitz the quarterback here, Patrick Henry. I got Bonita Vista, and I think Bonita Vista is going to roll on them. So I got Bonita Vista in this one over Patrick Henry. Similar
to Kearney, I think Patrick Henry has a good chance against any team in this bracket with the exception of Bonita Vista. Bonita Vista's got multiple corners that they can throw at Patman. It's just going to be a tough matchup. Bonita Vista, one of the best teams in the county. I think they'll be ready to go for Patrick Henry, and I've got Bonita Vista as well. Moving on, Santa Fe Christian hosting Imperial.
Wow. I read an interesting stat, or I got an interesting text today that Santa Fe Christian's defense has given up the least amount of points in like the last 30 years. Their defense has been that solid this year, as far as their team record. This game right here is another head scratcher. I'm going to go with the smaller boys. I'm going to go with the Santa Fe Christian guys. I think they got some things that they can run. That offense is really precision the way they hand the ball off. And RJ Walker is a stud. He's just a flat out stud for their team, and he's a leader. I don't think they're going anywhere. I'm gonna stick with Santa Fe Christian with the win. Dub.
Yeah, so Imperial's having kind of a bizarre season. They played some tough teams early. So they started off 0-5. They're currently 6-5. So they've lost 5 games in a row. Now they've won 6 in a row. So what does that mean? I don't know how much that means coming into this game. I think Santa Fe Christian's got this one. They win their conference, huge win in the final game of the year against a Division I school. That's a big deal for a smaller school. It just lets you know how good they really are. So I've got Santa Fe Christian in the 4-5 game. Moving on to the 3-6, it's Valley Center hosting Morse.
Morris is great. Morris has a good offensive lineman. But Morris' star linebacker's hurt. I think he hurt his ankle this week. Or now he hurt it a couple of weeks ago. He's a great tackle. I think Williams is his last name. I like Morris a lot. I think they're solid. I think they're good. But I don't think they're going to be ready for that with Valley Center. Valley Center's going to grind them out. You know, they're going to run the ball, run it down their throat, take a lot of time off the clock. Where Morris is a big time. They need to get big plays in order to get on the board. I know they got the good guy Irby over there and everything, very, very good. But I'm going to go ahead and go with Valley Center on this one. I think they're going to be able to take enough time off the clock, put some points on the board, and Morris is going to be able to make a comeback on them.
I'm going to take Valley Center as well. Morris is oftentimes kind of a weird matchup for teams because their offense is pretty unique, and it's kind of hard to practice for it because not a lot of teams have seen it. They do some weird stuff where they have two guys lining up a quarterback, essentially. So it's a little bit tricky if you've never seen it before, but I think Valley Center will be able to handle it. In our final game in Division 4, it's Fallbrook going to Mission Bay.
Oh, I know Fallbrook put on that amazing win last week. I picked against them last week. Sorry, guys, over there, Fallbrook.
Hey, we both did.
And they played amazing. They went in there and they literally kicked some butt. They took no names at all that game. But I think Mission Bay is going to be a little bit too much for them. You know, with Dumas, Ransom, we got Clark over there. They just got a lot of guys over there that are skill position guys that are just going to be able to flat out play. And, they can score on anybody. They're one of those unique teams. I think they're a better version than Kearney. They just got a little bit more than Kearney with all these skill guys that can make it up. So, Fallbrook, I hope you guys play really hard, but I think this is going to go to Mission Bay. I think Mission Bay has this one a lot.
I'm going to say this. Guys in Mission Bay, do not sleep on Fallbrook. This is a very good team. This is not going to be a cakewalk. Trust me. Yeah. I'm going to still pick Mission Bay, however. I think they need to, if they spread the ball around and take advantage of they have so many good athletes there at Mission Bay. I mean, the list goes on and on. So if they can exploit those matchups, because they're going to get a lot of good one-on-ones, that's how they're going to win this game, and I think they will win this game in our final matchup in Division 3. So we both have Bonita Vista, we both have Santa Fe Christian, we both have Valley Center, and we both have the Buccaneers from Mission Bay. So moving on to Division 2, we have got, starting at the top of the bracket again, Valhalla and Christian, the Battle of El Cajon.
Wow, this is gonna be a game right here. In-town rivalries. I think it's gonna be that rivalry type deal. I think they don't like each other. I know Logan Baker's ready to go. I know they got Petty over there at Christian. I think it's gonna be mano-a-mano matchup, and I think Valhalla has too much for him. I'm gonna go with Valhalla. Christian, I know you guys are good. I love David Jeremiah, the quarterback. I think they've done some amazing things this year. But Valhalla, I think, is destined to win this game and go a little bit further in the playoffs. I think they're battle tested, and I love their running back over there, Valhalla. I don't know his name every week, but I love the way he plays, the big kid over there. But Valhalla on this one.
This is going to be a very good game. Actually, I will be going to this game, so because I just really want to see it super bad. Valhalla Christian rivalry. They played against each other in a scrimmage before the season started. Valhalla looked really good against them. I know it's not the same thing being preseason to now where you're in the postseason, but I just think Valhalla is going to take it. Christian, great team. Says a lot about a school that size being in Division 2. I mean, that's incredible in itself, but I got to take Valhalla.
A big note on that game, though, I know Petty's a great back. Congratulations on his offer to San Jose State and everything, but he has to stay healthy this game. If Christian wants to win, he has to stay healthy. And I know he goes out periodically. He gets tweaked up a little bit, banged up a little bit. He has to be there for every play in order for Christian to win this game and be able to be dynamic. I just think they have a little bit too much defense on Valhalla's side to corral him a little bit and keep him in check. So if Petty stays healthy, it could go either way. This is like you said, this is one of those games can go either way. Either way.
All right, we will have Valhalla on that one. We're going to move on to another rivalry game. And this is going to be a revenge game for one of these teams. It's Mount Carmel hosting Westview, who they beat in the season finale.
Woo! This is going to be this is one of North County games to watch, I think. Man, I love Lucas. He did a great job in winning them again. Westview hasn't been playing very good ball at all the last 3 weeks. They just squeaked by in the playoffs with that win. I'm gonna think. Mount Carmel's going to go 2-1. I'm going to go with Mount Carmel for the win. I hate to say it. Yeah, Mark. I'm going to stick with my judgment, my gut. I'm going to go with Mark Carmel, but Westview could easily win this game. easily. It
Yeah,
can go either way.
as you mentioned, Westview just squeaked by San Pasquale, which was not what I was thinking was going to happen. I thought they would be able to win that by a couple of possessions, but I was wrong. However, I know it's hard to look ahead of a team in the playoffs, but I think that might have been what happened. Mount Carmel and Westview, two schools, they basically share a Pop Warner program, so a lot of these kids know each other. That's a big game every single year, and for them to lose that when it meant so much to them, they ended up having to not only not get a bye in the playoffs, but they had to go and play at San Pasquale because San Pasquale won their division or their conference, excuse me. So there's a lot of anger on that Westview side, and they're going to get their chance of revenge, and I think they're going to take it. And I've got the Wolverines.
Ah, man, see, I've been with the defense the whole year too, and I don't want to go against them. I don't want to, but they just been playing bad. You're indicative of how you played in the last 3 weeks. They have not played very good. So I'm going to go with the team that's been playing better. So I got Mount Carmel. Let's roll.
All right, moving on. Granite Hills hosting Otay Ranch.
Whew. Another head scratcher. Otay's strong. Rodriguez, a receiver, great player, big body guy, catches the ball good. Otay played very, very well last week in winning. Granite Hills, great. I like the running game. They've been playing strong, so I'm gonna stick with the home team, the upper division. I'm gonna go with Granite Hills in the win, with the win for them.
I'm gonna go with Granite Hills too. Jake Bird, one of the best linemen in the county, or defensive lineman, excuse me. I think they'll beat Otay, and I think they might surprise some people in this division too. As much as a 3 seed can surprise some people, I think they're gonna do well in the playoffs. And our final game in Division 2, it's Rancho Bernardo hosting Mira Mesa.
Woo! Mr. McKnight played very well last week. And they were able to do some great creative things on offense last week over there in Mira Mesa. But I think the buck stops here. Rancho Bernardo was very strong up front with that O-line, D-line. They have a solid running game. They have enough to keep the ball out of the Mira Mesa's hands so they can't get the ball to McKnight so as much. And they've been able to corral McKnight before in years past. I think they got a good game plan against Mira Mesa, and I think RB gets the W in this one.
I think RB is going to get the win too. And a guy I want to talk about really quick, Rancho Bernardo, is Devon Ville. Wide receiver, he's like 6'4", fast, great player. I don't know why he's not getting more attention. He should. I watched him play Poway, and he was the best player in the field, and he was incredible. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns. One of them was for like 90 yards. So look out for Devon out there in the field, number 9 in blue. So moving on to the Division 1 bracket, we will start with the 1 seed Oceanside hosting a team that they played in Week 1, San Marcos.
Woo! Hard game to pick again. Oceanside, great team. Not a lot of big names on there this year, but they've been playing really solid ball. They really picked it up. They faltered a little bit in the middle of the season, but they got together at the end. But San Marcos, Terrell Burgess is just that. He's that guy. He is absolutely one of the dynamic guys in the county. San Marcos is playing better ball. They have a great offense. I think San Marcos gets revenge on this game. I think San Marcos is going to go on the Oceanside. They're going to win. I think they figured out how to balance Burris out where he doesn't get so tired out at the end of the game, where he's losing all his energy, where they can't have him as a dynamic player on there and be able to get him to finish the games off. I think he does it against Oceanside, and I think this will be the biggest win of San Marcos history to be advancing on the playoffs, to go ahead and beat Oceanside right now.
I'm a little disappointed because I wanted this to be my big upset that, it surprised people. But I'm going to take the same thing as you, and darn it, now I can't get the extra points for it. But San Marcos, I've got them as well over Oceanside. They played in Week 1, but this is a much better San Marcos team right now than it was in the beginning of the season. I think they have shown a lot more improvement than, some of the most improvement of any team in the county. So I got the upset here. I got the 8th seed over the 1. So do you also. So I guess I thought I was going to look smart with that one. Anyway, moving on to the 4-5 Point Loma hosting Poway.
Wow, this is another one of those interesting games. Poway's strong, but Point Loma's been playing excellent for the last couple of years. Couple of weeks. I like Point Loma. I love the running game. I love Jalen Griffin. But Poway's strong, and they're strong at home. They do have an 11th man. If you wanted to compare anybody to Seattle, it's going to be Poway because they really feed off their crowd. Their crowd is really into it. They feed off the online stuff, the streaming and the comments, and they really buy into that. I think Point Loma is going to get this W, but it's going to be far. I think Point Loma is going to come in there with a mission to try to get him. If Jalen Griffin can get shit free and get free in the open field, it could be a whole different game. He can score 4 touchdowns a game. He's done it before. It's not a problem for them to keep giving him the ball and keep feeding him. He's just got to be able to stay healthy. Again, he can't get dinged up this game. They have to have the outlet, and Poway is going to be Poway. I'm picking Poway, but don't be surprised if it's an upset.
I can attest to the whole student section thing. When I was at the RB Poway game, I was hanging out with the Poway student section, and I was in shock. I mean, it was a game at RB, and the away stands are significantly smaller than the home stands, and they were just as loud, if not louder, than the whole entire RB section. So exactly. I was very impressed. I mean, like you're saying, as close to Seattle as you're going to find in San Diego County. I have Poway as well. Nothing against Point Loma. Point Loma coming off some big wins, but I think Poway has been in some close games. They just came so close to winning and they didn't, and it's hurt their ranking and their points or whatever you want to call it. So I've got Poway in the 4-5 game. Moving on to the 3-6, it's El Camino getting a rematch against Torrey Pines.
Wow, this is going to be a good game as well. Keith Smith over there at El Camino has that super sophomore quarterback playing at a high level. They got the big linebacker tight end over there, Spencer. They got some good things going over to El Camino. Torrey Pines, though, is that team, and playing at home, they're strong. They're very, very strong. But they also are one-dimensional. They don't do too many creative things on offense. I know they pass the ball a little bit, but they still got that running game. If El Camino can come with a few stops, they can win this game because I don't think Torrey Pines' defense is that strong this year as they've been in past. I'm going to go with Torrey Pines.
Ooh.
Still.
Darn it. You keep stealing my picks, Montel. I'm going to take Torrey Pines as well. I know El Camino wants some revenge against Torrey Pines because they're off to a great start in the season. Then they played TP and lost, and they kind of sputtered out after that. But Torrey Pines, very similar to Poway in the fact that the record's not as good as they are because they had to play some tough teams up there in the North County. So I've got the Falcons beating the Wildcats. And our final game in Division I, it's Grossmont hosting Steele Canyon.
East County battle. These guys, I think they battled for years and years. They're still battling each other. They don't like each other. They're somewhat of a rival against each other. But I know Steele Canyon came off that win last week. They proved us wrong. They proved me wrong. At least I didn't pick them. They came in there. They dominated the game. They played really, really well. If that's indicative of them going to this game, it's going to be a really, really good game in the East County. But Grossmont is strong, and they're very strong offensively. They got Lillard on defense, who's a great leader on the secondary linebacker staff. They got the receiver, number 5 over there, the receiver combo running back over there, just playing really, really well. They got little Bailey, the little scat back guy who's starting to come around on his own. They got some really good talent over Grossmont. I think Grossmont pulls it off, but it's going to be a close game. This will not be a blowout game at all. So I'm going to stick with the home team, Grossmont, for the win.
I've got Grossmont as well. I think they're another team that one or two games go their way. They're a top 10 team in the county. Unfortunately, it didn't, so they kind of hung on that fringe. But I've got the Foothillers in this one. So recapping again, we picked all the same things. We both have San Marcos. We both have Poway. We both have Torrey Pines. And we both have Grossmont. So our final bracket to pick, Montel. We're almost there. Here we go. Starting in the open division, starting with Helix hosting Madison.
First of all, Madison should not be an 8th seed. Let me put that out there right now. It's not be an 8th seed. I know the power rankings thing is all there and given there, but they can't control who they play in their conference. If that's the case, they need to put them in a different conference because this is one of the best teams, I think, in the county. It's unfortunately going against the best team in the county or probably, arguably one of the best teams in the state. I got Helix in this one, probably like everyone else, but let's not forget Madison, one, not taking anything from Rich Jackson, Coach Jackson and the staff. The players on that team, Madison, are phenomenal. I think they can compete with anybody in the county. I think they can give anybody fits, but they just got the bad luck of the draw going against Helix in the first game. I think Helix wins it. I think it'll be a little bit closer than it would be. I think it's going to be close in the first half until Helix figures it out. Then I think Helix can probably figure out a way to run away with it.
I'm going to agree with you as well. I've had Helix my number 1 team all year, so obviously I'm going to keep them winning in the first round. But to your point, I'm not a huge fan of the power ranking system, just like you said. Madison gets kind of hurt because their conference, they've got to play some teams that are in lower divisions with bad records. So no matter, even if they win those games by 100, it doesn't matter. They're not going to get the same amount of points as everyone else. So I've got Helix beating Madison. And again, it is unfortunate that Madison gets stuck with the 8th seed, but it is what it is. So moving on to the next game, it's going to be another great game here. Carlsbad going to Cathedral.
Yes. Carlsbad is very, very good. They're really, really good. Their defense over there is phenomenal, led by the linebacker going to Stanford. I had a hard time picking this game because, again, Carlsbad is that team you don't know what you're getting sometimes. They sometimes really rise above the level. and something, losing to Lincoln earlier this year, sometimes they play beneath. But I think for sure that I think Cathedral's going to win this game. Cathedral is very battle tested this year. They played a lot of tough teams. They're starting to figure it out, which is scary. And they got a defense that can hold Carlsbad off with Maiva and those guys. I'm taking Cathedral in this one.
I'm going to take Carlsbad. Yes, Carlsbad did lose to Lincoln early. I will erase that from my memory, and I'll pretend like it never happened. And they got a great team. And if you get rid of that little thing on the schedule right there, that little thing on the results, everyone looks at the team a lot different. Cathedral, man, I mean, they really hung in there. They scheduled probably harder than anyone in the county. They got themselves over 500. Good for them. But I think Carlsbad has what it takes to take it to them. Our next game, La Costa Canyon going to Mission Hills.
Oh, let's go. I'll be straightforward. I love Tanner. Tanner, you're a man. I love the way you play the game. You play it reckless and you leave it all on the field. Mission Bay's too strong. Over the bottom line, they're just too strong. Warner, McFarland and those guys, they got it all put together at Mission Hills this year, ready to rock and roll. I'm taking Mission Hills in this one.
I'm taking Mission Hills as well. Again, they've been number 2 for me, so how can I have them lose in the first round, right? So I'll take Mission Hills. They got too much talent over there. LCC, a great team. Look for them next year, though, because Tanner Clark is coming back for his senior year, so he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the county next year. I think next year might be the year for LCC, but right now I got Mission Hills. And our final game in our final bracket, Montel, it's Eastlake going to Saints.
You know what? It happened before. Saints beat them already. I don't think that changes. Eastlake again. If they didn't play the hardest, they played the second hardest schedule to Cathedral Catholic in the county. I don't know if they're all the way healed or if they're still beat up a little bit, but they just don't have enough in the tank to compete with that Saints O-line. Congratulations to Michael Alves, who just signed, verbally committed to UCLA. Congratulations over there. But Saints got too much. They're one of the better teams in the county. They're too big up front, too strong up front, and they got a lot of weapons on the outside. Unfortunately, Eastlake doesn't have as many. So I got Saints in the first, wrapping this up and winning it.
I've got Saints as well. Too much talent over there. And Elijah Preston, man, I'm serious. Yeah. Maybe one of the best running backs in the history of San Diego. He's been doing it since he was a freshman. I don't care how tall he is. I don't care how much he weighs. No one can tackle him. I don't care. He's
a better version. I don't know about better, but he's a exact version of Robbie Rouse. Remember when we played him in Madison? He's just like that. I don't see why Fresno State doesn't come snatch him up and then make him the all-time rushing leader of the Mountain West like Robbie Rouse did. You know what I mean? So, absolutely right. Elijah Preston is one of the dynamic guys in the county.
It says a lot about a kid. I think when he was a freshman, he was probably 5'4", maybe 5'3", and they give him the ball anyway, playing against some of the biggest, best teams in San Diego, and he was still killing them, and now he's a senior. So, hats off to this kid. He's had a great career so far, and it will continue if there you go. If in my prediction, I think that they will win this game. So just recapping the open division real quick, we both have Helix. You've got Cathedral. I've got Carlsbad. We both have Mission Hills, and we both have Saints. So Montel, got anything else to say before we sign off?
No, I'm ready to rock and roll, man. I can't wait for this week. We're getting closer and closer to the CIF championships, guys. Everyone stay healthy out there. I know last week there was a couple of injuries right there during the games. I hope everybody stays healthy. Play hard, leave it out on the field. Let's get ready for this. Let's get ready to move it all the way to CIF. I'm ready.
Yep, we got one more week till Thanksgiving, so it's always great to be able to still say you're playing football once Thanksgiving rolls around. Montel, thank you for joining us, and we will see everyone else next week.